Okay, hello again and welcome to Reason and Truth Ministries, where we are continuing our topic and our conversation on worldview. What is a worldview? As we talked about last week, what is a worldview? A worldview is a bunch of ideas that people view reality, that people make choices, decision with. And we all have what we call worldview. Now, regardless of if we know it by definition, we live it. And remember, I dealt with last week, and I show you the pyramid where we talk about belief, values, and actions, right? And at the base is what we have and what we call the belief system. And just for a reminder, remember, I drew it like this, and it's always in a pyramid form, and then we have this, and we have belief, values, and action, right? These three, and you see at the base, and what does this here? This is the water, and this is like an iceberg in the sea, and you see how the base is wide but the top is very small. All you see with an iceberg is just the top, and it's very deceptive. It's deceptive in that you wouldn't know how deep this ice is going beneath the surface. And once you don't know how deep it's going beneath the surface, and you're sailing with your ship, you're in danger of being what? Wrecked. And if you're in danger of being wrecked, your life is in danger. So now the worldviews that permeate our culture and our society is in reference to the belief system of every individual we come into contact with. And as Judeo-Christians, as people who believe in Yeshua Mashiach, we believe in a Shema. And remember I said Shema is to listen. And what we must do, we must listen to what a person is saying to us as we communicate with them in today's society. Because that person's eternal destiny rests on how they view their identity, meaning their point of origin, the purpose for their existence, why they are existing, and why are they existing, and where they are going, destiny, and how they live their life in relation to persons, which we can define as morality. So now, those four premises is what we all walk around with. And as we discussed last week, the 7 basic worldviews are, who can give me, call it out for me again?
Theism, atheism, naturalism, pantheism, deism, finite godism, polytheism, monotheism, and then we have biblical Christianity.
That's right. Okay? So that's how we have it. Theism, atheism, deism, finite godism, pantheism, panentheism, polytheism. Those basic 7 principles are what we call, what we are festered with in our society. And they can all be broken down into 3 basic categories. And last week we remember what those 3 basic categories are?
Naturalism, transcendentalism, and theism.
Right. Those 3 basic categories, we're talking about naturalism, which deals with nature, transcendentalism, which deals with metaphysical or philosophy, and theism, which deals with
God created all things.
All things. It deals with both ideas, both aspects. Okay? The atheist says there is no God. The pantheist said God is all. And theist says God created it all. I like how that's said. I can't remember the philosopher who said that. However, to say there is no God is to beg the question about God's existence. To say all that exists is nature is to deny your mind's existence. And this is what the whole world view as reality, as the world is a big mind. That is like pantheism. Okay, the world is just a big mind, and we all need to go back to this this aspect of existence. So now, this week what I want to do, I'm going to give you a clearer understanding of all these different ideas, so we will have an understanding of how we are to embark upon these different philosophies, these different worldview as we talk and as we dialogue with people in our culture. Okay? So, theism, an infinite personal God exists beyond and in the universe. An infinite personal God exists beyond and in the universe. That's theism. An infinite personal God exists in and beyond the universe. So now he's immanent, meaning he is where? He's right here. And what we buy into is a Platonic idea that God is what? Distant and far. And that is what the church has bought into in reference to the teaching of Yeshua Mashiach. Remember I said last week, and this, what type of song they like?
I was about to ask, where is he?
Okay. So I will. You remember those questions. He is immanent and he is transcendent, meaning he is right here and he is beyond. Okay? Theism says that the physical universe is not all there is. There is an infinite personal God beyond the universe who created it all, sustained it all, and who acts within it in a supernatural way. He is transcendent, out there, and eminently in here. There is the view represented by, this is the view represented by what? Traditional Christianity. And this is what we hold fast to. He is immanent, meaning he is here, and he is what? Transcendent. He is distant, meaning that this world isn't him. Like how a lot of people, a lot of these that other worldviews claim. Then we have deism. God is beyond the universe. And who we say was a deist? Thomas Jefferson. Remember we talked about him last week? Okay? God is beyond the universe but not in it. He is beyond the universe but not in it. Deism is theism minus miracle. Deism is theism minus miracle. So there isn't any type of miracle in deism. It said God is transcendent over the universe but not immanent in it. Certainly not supernatural. It holds a naturalistic view of the operation of the world. So it holds a naturalistic view of the operation of the world. So now when you're hearing this type of worldview, men like Thomas Paine and this guy who were instrumental in what we call the Civil War in the Americas, when the whole, for the abolition of slavery and what have you, and we have men like Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther who were fighting against the oppressors. And this is where they say, now we gotta act because God is not here. Now there are some truths to that, because you can't remain passive and let people walk over you and say what? We shall overcome here in the by and by. This is why I'm more a Malcolm X sort of proponent of what Scripture teaches. I am not one to stand up and just let somebody come rape my wife and children, and all in the name of who? This blue-eyed monster that they purport before you. Okay? We are not, that is not the whole premise of what we call Christianity. The whole premise is about truth. Right? In common with theism, it believes the originator of the world is a creator. God made the world, but does not work with it. God made the world, it's like he wind it up, but he doesn't work with it. He just leave it. And he said, no, you guys take care of yourself. Right? And this is what Thomas Jefferson believed. This is why he in his Bible, he cut out everything that is in relation to miracle, and he had a more physical, naturalistic approach to what Scripture teaches. He wound up creation and let it run on its own. In contrast to pantheism, which negate God's transcendent in favor of the immanent. Deism negates God's immanence in favor of transcendentalism. Then we have atheism. No God exists beyond or in the universe. That is atheism. And I'm sure we always hear about atheism. Men like Christopher Hitchens, Stephen Hawkins, Darwin, and Sam Harris. And these are some of the atheists. Sam Harris and these guys are very, very excellent writers and proponent of moral, natural morality, because morality is only constructed by those who are in authority. When you read Plato's Republic, you'll get all those rendering from those writings. Atheism claims that the physical universe is all there is. No God exists anywhere, either in the universe or beyond it. The universe or cosmos is all there is and there will ever be. All is matter. It is self-sustaining. A few of the most famous atheists were men such as Karl Marx, Friedrich Nietzsche. You know these guys? I saw these names sounds familiar. Thomas Paine, Sartre, right? Jean-Paul Sartre. These guys are more not Thomas Paine, Jean-Paul Sartre. These are like atheistic men. These men who say, Hegel is the first man to write, God is dead. But Nietzsche is the first one to do what? Kill God. He said, no, look for the street, and he walked with the lantern, and he said, we kill God. And we live in a Nietzschean age today where people only believe in themselves. Then we have pantheism. God is the all, the universe. God is the all. This is pantheism. God is the all, the universe.